Wilfried Gnonto, Toni Fernandez, an update on Leny Yoro. We've got more Wonderkid news for you coming up here on Soccer Wonderkids at the Pitchside Pub. Welcome back to Wonderkid Wednesdays here at the Pitchside Pub, where today we're going to give you an update on some ongoing stories and talk about a few new possible Wonderkid transfers on the market that could be happening over the next week or so. Lots of news to talk about, but before we do, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me down below so you can follow the channel for this and all the videos that we put out. Get down in that comment section. What do you think? Are these players that you want on your club? Get down in that comment section. Let me know your thoughts. You can also leave comments on Twitter at Pitchside Pub, and of course check out the website pitchsidepub.com. Well, the big story of the week has to be Leny Yoro, the teenage defender from Lille, agreeing to terms with Manchester United. We talked about it last week about how Manchester United had swooped in and Lille had agreed to terms. Now the player has agreed. Apparently he's in Manchester getting his medicals done, so this might be going through. And it's only shocking because he had been pretty clear about the fact that he had always wanted to play at Real Madrid. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I had questioned last week whether or not he really wanted to be in Manchester, and if he took their offer, was it just because of money? Now, this one went back and forth throughout the week. Real Madrid never really made a strong offer. You have to wonder if they thought because he really wanted to be there, they could lowball him. I don't know how or why that played out the way it did, but they never really came for a strong offer for Leny Yoro, which had to have been a disappointment for him. So now he's got this offer sitting on the table, and it's a strong one from Manchester United, and all of a sudden it sounds a little bit better, and he goes to the Premier League. I mean, it's a great choice as long as your heart is in it. So that would be my only apprehension from Manchester United's standpoint, is if he really wanted to be there, but I assume they talked that through with him, and they do. I mean, this is a great move for United. He is big, strong, and talented. I did a full write-up on Leny Yoro. You can check out the link to that video in the bio, in the description down below. He is as talented a young defender as is available on the market. He is not a guy, when we talk about managing expectations, he's not a guy that United fans should assume is just going to enter the starting 11 right away and play every game all year and have a ton of success. The jump from France to England is big. That is a big jump talent-wise. And so it may take some time, but I can see him being in the rotation this year, playing cup games, playing some of the lesser opponents, getting some starts, playing about half the time, and working his way in, and then by the time he's 20, is a mainstay on that back line. So, hey, kudos to Manchester United, assuming this one gets across the finish line. I did not see this playing out this way, but it's a great deal for them, and they're adding young talent on that back line, which they definitely need. Next up, we're going to take a deep dive into the Barcelona Academy to talk about Toni Fernandez, who just turned 16, which means he's allowed to sign a professional contract and extend his stay at Barcelona. He is in first-team camp, but he's never made a first-team appearance. In fact, he's only played with the under-18s, played at the international level, under-17, but he's looking like he might be a part of the first team at Barcelona this year, and this is really important for a couple reasons. Fernandez is a highly touted Wonderkid, and truly the definition of Wonderkid. He just turned 16 a couple days ago, so we don't have a lot on him, and yet we know a couple things. He was being recruited and possibly linked with clubs like Manchester City and others when there was a possibility that upon turning 16 he was going to leave Barcelona and explore other options. Kudos to Barcelona for locking up a good young player again out of their academy. We know how renowned their academy system is and the talent that they develop, but more importantly, Barcelona as a club with very little money has to produce young talent that they don't pay an arm and a leg for on the transfer market because they simply don't have it. So they must, absolutely must, keep their homegrown talent in-house. We saw that with Lamine Yamal this season and how much effect they can have. We've seen it with Gavi and Pedri and others in recent years, and this is another key piece. So Toni Fernandez looks like he will be sticking in Barcelona, signing his first professional contract, lengthening his stay in Barcelona, and this is huge for them because he's a good, young, talented player. He's an attacker. We don't even know where he's going to play yet. He's so young. He's mostly just touted as an attacker, but could be wing, could be center forward, could be attacking midfield. He's so young we don't even know yet, and it's still developing. But these are the kinds of moves that Barcelona absolutely has to make if they want to stay competitive. They cannot lose their young, inexpensive talent. Marseille has been the surprise team of the summer, if for no other reason than their hiring of Roberto De Zerbi in a move that very few saw coming. Now they're back on the market and they have strong interest in 19-year-old attacker Valentin Carboni. He belongs to Inter, but he was on loan at Monza last season, where he had an okay year as a teenager, playing pretty regularly in Serie A. He also was a part of Argentina's Copa America winning team, where he had a backup role. Carboni is highly regarded and very talented, so this would be a huge move for Marseille, and Inter doesn't really want to part with him, but that 30 million euro price tag for a teenager is really intriguing to the Serie A champions. They won't let him go for cheap, but Marseille is out to get some talent and give Roberto De Zerbi the players that he needs to work with, so this one's going to cost them, and this will be their big move of the summer if they get it done, but Inter's not going to do it reluctantly because Carboni is a talent that they don't want to lose, but they will for the price. Newcastle doesn't have a lot of money to spend yet, but they also know they might be losing Anthony Gordon and others from their attack this season, and that would give them some money to work with, which is why they've been linked with pretty much every attacking player on the market, but the noise is getting stronger around Leeds winger Wilfried Gnonto, who had 8 goals and 2 assists for Leeds at the championship level last season. He's only 19, he's an Italian player, he's a speedster out on the wing. No, he wouldn't be Anthony Gordon by any stretch, but he would be a really good replacement at probably a third of the price of what they could sell Gordon for if they really are having some PSR and FFP type issues. So this is a strong link. Gnonto's going to be linked with somebody. He's probably not going to play another year at the championship level. He did have a good season at age 19. Another year at the championship wouldn't be the worst thing in the world for him, but he's probably willing to go test the market somewhere. I could see him going to Serie A. He is an Italian player, but he'd probably love to go to the Premier League as well. That might be a big jump for him, but if he's in the rotation at Newcastle and not a guy that's counted on to start every day, that could be a really good fit. So this one probably has some legs. Newcastle's going to have to make some sales first, but they have more than enough players that other teams are interested in, so they should be getting some money, and selling somebody like Gordon for a large sum and replacing him with a cheaper option like Gnonto is not a bad move for their business. So this is one that really could have some legs. What are your thoughts on these moves? How about moves I missed? Any rumors that are out there that I didn't talk about? Get down in that comments section. Let me know what you think. You can also leave comments on Twitter at PitchsidePub. While you're at it, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below for me, and of course, check out the website pitchsidepub.com. Thanks as always for joining us here on Soccer Wonder Kids at the Pitchside Pub.